Alright, welcome. This is Scriddle number 17. We're going to solve this puzzle without knowing its rules, and then Scriddle's going to tell us how close or far away we are for each time we guess. Let's get going. This is a very big one, very big grid. Not seen a grid this big on Scriddle for a while. Looks like we can shade numbers, but I'm unsure whether that's actual mechanical or if it's just like for note-taking. And we can shade circles. So these are pretty low numbers relative to the size of the grid. So it could be, what could it be? It could be like lines. It feels like, oh, it's got a kind of a Picrossy flavor. No, it can't be Picrossy. So these are interesting. These don't have numbers on, but they are shaded. So that makes me think that this probably constrains these numbers in some way, because they're quite close to this 4 and this 3. So I'm thinking, like, is it something like, if it was like a line, that would be too easy. So I think it's the opposite. I think it's like white space. But what could it be? Like a 3x3 square? I think we need to slap some numbers down. We need to slap some tiles down. Let's do some experiments in different parts of the board. So this is a line of 4. This is, we could do like a, what could we do? We could like encircle like this. I mean, there's no way that's going to be correct. We could do something like this, where it's like it can see 3 in a row. And we can also do something like, so what does it want? It wants 3x3. Could like try and encircle it in a box. Let's guess this and see which ones break what. Okay. So the red rule makes me think it's, wow, that's a lot of things wrong. This looks, it's not contiguous. It's actually the opposite. It actually doesn't want contiguous lines. So this just wants black cells to be no neighbors for black cells. Makes perfect sense, very reasonable. This is interesting. So quite a lot of this breaks the orange rule, but not all of it. So what is this about? What's going on here? Can't be rows with a certain number of things. It could be, is it tiles with a certain number of neighbors? It's not that either. That's a weird one. I'm gonna have to come back to that one, I think. Yellow rule. This looks like diagonal, horizontal, or vertical lines. I think the number 4 can see too many. I think it might be to do with sightlines. These numbers are obviously... Oh, that's weird. Okay, so the number 4 is kind of satisfied in some ways, but not others. Although if it's to do with lines, it's weird that the 4 on the left isn't satisfied. I think I must have misunderstood something here. And then this is extremely unusual. These are all squares. They're all square regions. So the 1x1s don't count. So this is like at least a 2x2. Okay, I don't think there is a way, unfortunately, to reset the entire... What does this do? Ah, perfect, there is. Okay. So what were we thinking? We were thinking it was to do with lines of sight, and you can only have individual tiles. And I'm almost feeling like they can't be, they can't be touching, right? So, I mean, this can see 4 vertically now. This one wants to see 4 as well, so that would have to be something like this. And I wonder whether they can overlap. That's kind of a good question. Like, does it always have to be? Maybe it does have to be vertical, or maybe it's like it could be like even numbers have to be vertical and odd numbers have to be horizontal or something like that. Let's just test that theory, actually. Let's do one horizontal and see what happens. Good. Okay. Okay. satisfied. So some of these numbers are now appear to be satisfied. So the 4s are satisfied. This makes me think it's not about sightlines, because the numbers that are satisfied, they kind of they have a certain number of tiles within, by complete coincidence I should add, within like a 3x3 square of themselves. So if I was to like draw a little box around this number 4, there are 4 shaded cells, not including itself. This one again it's not quite all square areas. No, it is. It's square areas. So like a 2x2, anywhere that you could make a 2x2 grid out of. So this one looks quite checkerboardy. I think the result's going to be quite dense. And then again, we've just got kind of the ones that there's definitely something wrong with the way I'm trying to satisfy these. This feels like a less than and greater than thing. So there'll be like some specific number we're trying to match, but I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, and that one's what the hell is going on here? I'm gonna take away this one. Let's reset the board. We think this needs to be quite a dense board, right? So what I'm going to try and do here is, I think there might be like some kind of chain connection. So we need to sort of fill in the grid maybe. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to end up like wasting loads of time trying to fill in the grid, and it's not necessary, but there does seem to be some kind of rule about having too many 2x2s. So let's do that. Can do something like that maybe. This still allows a no. This actually makes me feel like I'm on the right path, because as soon as it gets hard to express what you think the answer is, it means that you're butting up against the a rule set, right? So that almost makes me think like, oh, I'm on the right track. If I do this, oof, this is trying to fill in these gaps so there aren't any two. But I think I'm just gonna like leave a couple in and just see if I'm on the right track rather than spend ages. So respecting red, we are breaking some rules, but we're respecting way more rules now. So these ones, it does seem to be, this is weird. This is weird, and let me tell you why this is weird. Okay, so this is fine. Like, why is this one fine? This is 4. And this is also 4. So it kind of feels like maybe this tile is too far away. But then why is this, again, why is this not okay? Have I just done something very silly here? It really does feel like it's about proximity. Okay, but we're fine with green, and then okay, well we know we're breaking that rule, so that's fine. Okay, so I think I want to this is very odd, very, very odd. Very, very odd. Let's make an adjustment here. So we've got kind of a line coming off this one, and we're sort of like varying up how we're satisfying the lines. Oh, we can't get rid of that one. Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. This like wants to stop you from making certain moves. I think I'm definitely on the right track here. I'm definitely convinced myself of that. God, the orange rule's a weird one. Okay. So which one? So okay, the threes have become satisfied now by changing this. Is this about? It can't be about repeated shapes, right? It must be something else. They're connected to the same number of shapes. I worry that I'm worried that I've made changes that have accidentally fulfilled some of these rules, and I'm now barking up the wrong tree. The thing that really bugs me here is that this tile is not shaded. So I think any theory I have of these being connected is just wrong. I think it's just completely wrong. So I'm going to shade that one instead. And I'm going to do something like this and see if this one changes. Nope. I think it might be not enough, because I think this one now has too many. And I think these don't have enough. But that doesn't make any sense either. Is it to do with... This is... Okay. Okay. So we can't get rid of this. What about that shape? I think this is going to be quite a guess heavy one. Nope. Did we satisfy any of the... We satisfied this one. This one's fine. Why is this one fine? And there was a point where it wasn't, right? Okay, that was quite different then. To do with loops? Could it be loops? And it kind of treats the board edge. I think it is, isn't it? It treats the board edge as like something that can cause a loop. I think that might be what it is. Let's slap some more of these things on. I can't do that. Haha, yeah, okay. Alright. That's... Boy, that's... Oof. So we'd really kind of want to go there. But then that would mean you would have to change... Can we do that? I think we can do that, actually. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. I can't see the... Oh, that's frustrating. Can I do that? Maybe I can do that? Oh, but this just creates more holes. That's okay, and that's okay. No, because there has to be one there. Oh, this is really hard when the numbers are near each other, because it's extremely easy to Okay, I think what I'll do is let me smash this in as a potential answer, and then we can see where and how. I feel really good about this. I do feel really good about this. I feel like this solution is very nearly there, apart from resolving this relationship between the two fours. Let's just double check this. Oh my god. Okay. So we can only touch the side of the board once. That's the vibe I'm getting from this thing. What else was the rest? No, the rest was not good. So we knew about that. This one is too long. I should have just noticed that. Okay, so we can't create circuits with the side of the board. Side of the board is bad. Oh my god. No. So there has to be a black square there. There can't be one here, or here, or here, which means there has to be one here. So the 4 has to be changed. It would need to be like this, which means you would need to be like this. You would have to be like that. But this is a problem already, so it can't be. not necessarily. It could be like this. What the hell? Could be, maybe that was better the first time round. Something like this. This is good. This is good. This is very tight. Very tight also, but then we've got a kind of a death scent here. Hey everyone, this is just a very sped up version of me spending a long time doing the wrong thing. Yeah, we'll just cut forward. Sorry, I'm also solving this with my left hand because I have injured my right, which makes precision marking of a grid somewhat difficult. Can't go there. Don't know about this. Why didn't I didn't like this previously. Don't need anything here, but we've got to go somewhere, right? Oh no, we don't actually, so we're done. Can't go there. Let me know in the comments if you'd rather I left these bits unsped up. Like, what am I missing? Because this is so close to being correct. Oh, okay, that's just a general rule about loops. So that also sucks shit. It could be like this, but it still doesn't solve our problem here. To solve our problem here, we would need to do this, which is probably the answer. Well, shit. That was painful, folks. That was rough. This is an interesting... Okay, so let's actually talk about this for a bit. Well, let's see the rules. So, shade some cells on the board. Some shaded cells are given. Shaded cells cannot be horizontal. Yep, we got that one. Had to be diagonals. Unshaded cannot form a 2x2 square. We also got that eventually too. Number indicates the amount of cells in its diagonally connected group of shaded cells. Okay, this is a rough rule. Even if you were explaining this to someone verbally, you know, without playing Scriddle, this is a rough rule to describe. All unshaded cells on the board, yeah, form an orthogonally connected area. Okay, so that's why I was getting confused. It's not to do with looping per se onto the edge of the board, but it's more about, I think, like, orthogonally connected is rough because I suppose for me it's also because I've played and made lots of grid-based games where diagonal connectedness is assumed. So my mind doesn't always go there. So this is interesting. I mean, I think it's not my favorite puzzle. But what was interesting about this is, I think this is the first example I can think of where we basically did know the rules about 10 minutes in, and the rest of the Scriddle was actually solving the puzzle, which is normally does not happen. So basically, if I'd sat down today, I mean, it's not quite like that, but if I'd sat down today and just played this puzzle and I knew what the rules were, it actually just would have been a hard puzzle for me to solve, I guess. Not quite like that, because, you know, when you make a mistake, part of your brain is going like, oh, did I just misunderstand the rules for this one? But yeah, I mean, that was interesting. That was an interesting one. All right, not the best time, but we did it. Thanks very much for watching. So hope tomorrow's is a bit quicker.